From Cornwall to Birmingham and Johnston and Bexhill, here's Ruben Spar on the radio.
Hello to Alan Fletcher. How are you today?
I'm great, Ruben. Lovely to speak to you. Thank you very much for chatting to me.
Thank you for letting me interview you today. So, can you tell me? I know you just come back on the set of Neighbours, so I know this year is your 30th year there. So, originally you only had 1 year contract. So, what was that like joining the Neighbours?
Well, when I first joined, I was in a position where my beautiful wife Jennifer was pregnant with our first child. So I was very excited to have a 1 year contract as an actor. That obviously most people would know that actors, have precarious work situations. So a 1 year contract was very exciting. A 1 year actually became a 2 year contract, so even more exciting. And then 2 became 4. So it was perfect. And my son was born in that 4 year span as well. After that, it just kept chugging along, mainly because I think the UK audience, the beautiful UK audience, loved the Kennedy family so much and supported us. And so they never got rid of us, basically.
No. So do you enjoy being on Neighbours?
Of course, it's the job. It's a dream job. Most actors go from job to job, but in doing so, they have very long periods of time, often between their jobs, where they're not employed at all. I have been employed as an actor now for almost 30 years, full time. In one job, and as well as doing that one job, I've been able to do pantomimes in the UK. I've been able to tour with my rock band in the UK. I've been able to tour with my Americana music, which I'm doing this year. So for me, Neighbours has been an absolute blessing.
So, can you tell me how long have you been a singer-songwriter for?
Well, I started back in 2004. Was when I first moved into music with a rock band called Waiting Room, which is a couple of Melbourne musicians, and we very quickly wrote and recorded a debut album called In the Waiting Room. And then the interest came from the UK to tour all the university circuit, which we did. It was a huge hit, and we toured 10 times with that band, and the album was also a huge hit. From there, I moved into Americana music after going to the Tamworth Country Music Festival here in Australia. When I say Americana, what we were talking about is Americana. We're talking about old country, but it's also country music. And country music in the UK now is the fastest growing genre of music in the country. It's immensely popular for very good reasons, because it's great storytelling music, and that's what I love to do.
So, I know your first single that released as a solo act was a Christmas single back in 2013. So can you tell me more about the first single that released back in 2014 called Meet Me on the Steps of the Bombarded Out Church?
Yes, it was actually there's a slight error there on Spotify. It was written in 2014 but recorded later. That song, Meet Me on the Steps of the Bombed Out Church, is actually about St. Luke's Church in Liverpool, and it was written by a Liverpudlian musician by the name of Chris McIntosh. Wonderful, wonderful musician. I've always loved the song, and I asked his permission if I could record it because I have a passion for Liverpool as a city. I am a Red. I'm sorry to all those people there who support other football teams, but I am a Liverpool supporter. And the Bombed Out Church is a very spectacular church because it was bombed in the Second World War but never repaired. And it's become a meeting place for Liverpudlians. They say, meet me on the steps of the Bombed Out Church. And that's what this song is about. It's about a song of love and lost love, and saying, please come back and meet me on the steps so we can rekindle what we had.
So you did a duet with Alice Platt, so it's called Sorry Is Hard, Sorry Is Words. So can you tell me more about that?
Very much a country song, this one, Ruben. Very much written in the style of the duets that people would be very familiar with, Kenny and Dolly and so forth. It's very much two people who have fallen apart. Their relationships fallen apart, and it's fallen apart because they never learnt to just say sorry. So it's a relationship song, and Elise Platt, the divine Elise Platt, who has as an actor, worked on Neighbours twice in two different characters, is also a very, very accomplished singer herself. So pleasure to do that song with her.
So, can you tell me more about your first EP that really back in 2022 called Dispatches?
Yes. Now, when I started recording and writing country music, I was working with two fantastic musicians here in Australia, Lachlan Bryan and Damien Caffarella, who are also record producers. So we started off putting together some songs, and very quickly we realised we had sufficient songs for an EP. So this was my first forays. This was my first, moves into this music genre. And on that album, I had a lovely comedy song called Spend a Little Time With Me, a John Prine cover called Fish and Whistle, because I love John Prine music. Sorry Is the Word was on there. A song that I dragged out of the vaults from my songwriting way back called Time was also on there. So it was very much a beginning of my journey. And that, of course, was followed up with my album, my full-length album called The Point, 10 songs of all my originals.
So, can you tell me more about your album called The Point?
Yes, this is an intensely personal album. Excuse me. It has a love song on there called The Point, which is to my wife. Excuse me. And also a song to my beautiful mother called Hey Mum, which is Hey You, which is a very much a personal connection with my mother who's passed. It also has some comedy songs on there too. I love writing comedy songs about just simple things like how good is bed? I mean, how good is bed, Ruben? We love to sleep in. And songs like that. So it's an eclectic album. It's a song about love and fun and passions and so forth. It's a song basically which is crafted very much from my life.
So, can you tell me more about the single that is called "I Got a Crush on Susie K"?
Yes, now this was a song that I played and wrote and played and at the Neighbours celebration tour, which toured through March. In fact, we're now at the kind of 1 year anniversary of that tour. And people loved it so much. I used it as a way of introducing Susan Kennedy onto stage. And people loved it so much, they asked me to record it. So I popped it out there. It's become one of my most popular songs. I've got a crush on Susie K. Well, who doesn't have a crush on Susie K?
So, what are your plans? Have you recorded any new music in the near future?
Yes, I'm actually writing a whole bunch of new material here at the moment. Much of which will be I'll be playing on stage in July when I'm touring in July and early August. So there'll be a lot of new songs for people to hear, and there'll be some releases before I come over.
So, I don't know if you are independent or are you a signed artist. I'm guessing you may be an independent artist, maybe.
Very much an independent artist. I have my own music company, Uber Savvy Music, that has the publishing on my music.
So, you told me recently that you're coming over to UK. So, can you tell me what shows you're coming over to the UK and do this year?
Yes, well, in July I'll start my first show will be in London at the Bedford and Balham, beautiful venue, which I've played at twice before. That's on July 11, and then we start the big trek around the UK. We're going everywhere, up to Smethwick in Birmingham, down to Hassocks in the south, over to Dublin. Penzance, which I mentioned to you, that's going to be fabulous. And then, of course, we're doing some lovely stuff on the East Coast, Hull and Filey and Newcastle, Edinburgh, of course, Aberdeen, over to Glasgow as well. The Kendal Calling Festival with Noel Gallagher headlining will be incredible, as well as, of course, my big favourite gig, Ruben, which will be at the Cavern Club in Liverpool on the 29th, which is going to be absolutely huge. And I think I might even see you there, won't I?
So, is there any artist that you want to do a single together in the near future that you think you would do one with?
Oh, well, to be honest with you, the person I love doing duets with the most is my beautiful wife, Jennifer. And the great thing about doing music with Jennifer is that we can write the songs together and we can sing them to each other on a very personal level. So she is my go-to favourite duet artist.
Thank you for letting me chat to you today.
It's wonderful to talk to you too, Ruben. Take every care.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, mate. Look after yourself, and thank you to all your listeners, and I send my best to everyone.
Goodbye.
Take care, mate. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.